How's it going, guys? I'm Vivi and welcome back to some Yooka-Laylee. Now guess what, guys? We got a bunch of brand new Yooka-Laylee footage very recently. Since there's a bunch to cover, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stick to the new stuff. Well, duh, isn't that the point? Well, I just don't want to ramble too much and repeat myself too much. Pretty much, I just want to get straight to the point. So with that being said, guys, hopefully you enjoyed the video and let's jump right into it. Glitterglaze Glacier, world number 2. Guys, it's looking absolutely great. Just by looking at the whole layout, the music, which reminds me of Freezy Peak, something tells me this is going to be my favorite world. Now there we notice a snowman with a pirate hat. Haven't we seen a snowman before? Yes, we did get a screenshot a long time ago. Now all of these snowmans, they have pieces of clothes. By finding them, I'm assuming we get a pagey. It could be a hat, it could be a pair of shorts, and by the way, we did see shorts in one of the gameplays. We have to transform into a truck and push the snow boulders. There's a huge beehive, which will be very useful. I will go over it later, alright? There's a red ghost rider right there, and like I've said in my other analysis videos, we have to collect 5 to get a pagey. As for this red one, we don't have its name yet. The googly eyes. They're not harmful at first, well, unless they, animate any object. It could be a snowman, it could be a box, it could be a pillar, anything pretty much. Now there's a pagey right there. How do we unlock that one? I'll come back to it very shortly. We slightly noticed another snowman, and that one lost its hat. And like I said before, by finding it, I'm assuming we get a pagey. Now the question is, do we get a pagey by finding all of the clothes, or do each snowman give us a pagey individually? What do you guys think about that? There's some snow boulders over there. By transforming into a truck, we push him and we reveal a keyhole. And this door takes us into the castle. We don't know what the area inside looks like yet. A pagey and a cagey. To unlock this one, we talk to Planker and he gives us a task. By swallowing grenade berries, we blast the ice to reveal a capital B snow structure, or ice structure, whatever you want to call it. With that being done, the pagey is unlocked. So far, as for the berries, we have Flame, Splash, Frost, and Grenade. The Grenade is pretty new. We haven't seen these ones before. And come on guys, aren't these berries so Banjo-Tooie? Don't you remember the grenade eggs, the fire ones, the ice ones? This game is indeed Banjo-Kazooie's spiritual successor. Next, a keyhole underwater. Okay. Judging by the platforms we notice on the left and right, do we empty out the water? I mean, how are we supposed to unlock that door? Here's a dark level. We have to use the Slurp Shot ability to light ourselves up. And that's the official name, by the way, Slurp Shot. And this, guys, it reminds me of Banjo-Tooie, come on. Don't you remember the haunted cavern? And of course, since we're in the dark, we have to be careful and avoid the snow curplets. So what we do in this area is we have to make our way through by performing the lizard roll. And of course, the place is dark and the slopes are slippery, so this might actually be a challenge. Next, we notice the skeletal explorer named Clara right there. We can buddy slam on those igloos to reveal a bunch of snowmen, which can be animated by the googly eyes. And guys, this part right here, the ice key. This is 100% a Banjo-Kazooie reference. What did this key do in Banjo-Kazooie? Not much, but in Banjo-Tooie, we actually unlocked a Globo to transform Kazooie into Dragon Kazooie. For those of you who played Banjo-Tooie, you probably remember what I'm talking about. Now, how do we enter these worlds? We enter them via Grand Tomes, as seen in Charlo Stack Tropics in the beginning. Okay, so in Glitterglaze Glacier, there are some water areas which we can swim in. As for this area right here, I think we can't. We simply have to glide our way across the other area. There's a ghost rider right there, the yellow one. It's called Norm. This one simply hides and doesn't really do anything. We just have to find it. The snow corplets. Now that's not the official name if I'm not mistaken. If they're wearing a piece of clothes, their HP is equal to 2. We have to hit him twice. And Vendy is present in each world. What does she do? I'll go over it later. As for the quills, I'm assuming there are 100 quills in each world when they're non-expanded. When they are, we collect another 100. Next, the googly eyes in action. Now, if they animate something, they're trickier. And I've noticed a little something, a new ability. Yooka-Laylee jump, spin in the air quickly and attack the enemy. As for the name of this specific ability, I don't know, actually. It hasn't been specified yet. Assuming this is a new ability. We learn from Trowser. Again, the visuals, guys, they're stunning. The water looks great. The whole place, the whole level looks great. Playtonic games have outdone themselves. Here's a switch. We buddy slam onto it, we have to go through these rings, it's an obstacle pretty much, and we get a pagey in a cagey, and I've noticed that the game auto-saves every time we find a pagey. The beehive, which I mentioned before. We use Slurp Shot to cover ourselves in honey. It lasts 30 seconds. What is it for? We have to roll our way up a blue slope. And by making our way to the top, we come across the locked door, which leads us inside the castle. Next, Trowser Snake. Exchange a bunch of quills for abilities. As we notice, Slurp State, it absorbs a bunch of powers. We can absorb honey, cover ourselves in honey pretty much, become light, absorb metal to become heavy. We basically decide whether or not we want to buy these abilities early on in the game or later, and some of you might be wondering, what about the challenges which require these specific moves? Will we get stuck or something? Well, if you don't have the specific ability required for a challenge, let's say, that challenge will remain locked until you get the specific ability required. Next, inside the crystalline caves, there's a small set of ice crystals. We have to use our sonar ability in the right order to get a Pagey. In the next area, there's a snowman we saw a long time ago, the one we saw in the screenshot. And this part right here was slightly shown in the E3 trailer 2016. So again, we come across a slope which requires honey. Without it, we can't make our way up there. Now the snowmans we saw before, they can get animated. And here's what they look like. Right on top, there's an area, hidden area. But we have to be careful, there's a wind spewer, and what we find is a power extender. One is available in each level. And careful, if you run out of honey, we have to start all over. Next, we meet Kartos again. Now in this gameplay, if we haven't met him before, he's just gonna talk to us like we've never met him before. Just to be clear, we meet Kartos in Tribal Stack Tropics once it's expanded. If you decide not to expand Tribal Stack Tropics and decide to move to Glitterglaze, you might first meet him in World 2. There's going to be a minecart challenge in each level, and as we progress through the levels, I'm assuming that these minecart challenges will keep on getting harder. And by getting 100 minecart gems, we get a Pagey from Kartos. Just to add a little bit more detail, the blue gems are worth 1, and the yellow ones, the gold ones, they're worth 5 points. Next, we move on to an area with a bunch of slippery slopes. By standing on a set of charcoal, we set ourselves on fire. By proceeding to the next set of coal and lighting it up, while by activating all of them, an ice cube on top melts and we collect a Pagey. Plus, we create a shortcut. Last thing I want to quickly go over in Glitterglaze Glacier is this area right here with a bunch of switches. By activating all of them, we activate while we open the coffin with the Pagey in it. And of course, be careful and avoid the wind spewer. So with that being said, guys, let's move on to Hivory Towers, the hub world in Yooka-Laylee. So, judging by the pipes and the bricks, we are indeed in Hivory Towers. There's a bunch of books in the back, and we read My Way or the Flyway. Get it? It's a reference to the phrase My Way or the Highway. Now we have a nice view of the inside of Hivory Towers. Back in 2016, we got a Gamescom trailer and we saw a bit of Hivory Towers, but that was it. Again, we notice a bunch of books everywhere, and Capital B, the main villain of the game, he's stealing all of the literature for profit. Do we notice anything special about this area? Well, there's To the Top written on one of the books. I can't really tell what's written on the others. In the back, we notice the huge machine which stole Laylee's book. I'll go over that once I cover Shipwreck Creek. Next, we have a scene with Trowser. He gives us a bunch of abilities for free. Now, this is only within Hivory Towers. In the worlds, we have to pay him quills to get new abilities. Now, by consuming flame berries, we light up the letters A, I, E, P, G in the right order, of course. And by lighting them up, we unlock a Pagey. There's a Pagey on top of Capital B's statue, and about the Pageys, we have to collect 25 in each world. And according to Platonic, some are hidden within the hub. Now, they haven't revealed to us many cutscenes with Capital B. Here's one with Dr. Quack. And I gotta say, they really did it. The cutscene looks great. And guys, the moment I freaked out is when I saw the quizzes. In Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie, I loved going through the quizzes. Seeing this is very nostalgic. It's called the Quackfire Quiz. Back in 2015, I think, people were wondering, hey, is Platonic Games going to add any quizzes or anything like that? Guess what? They are. How does this work exactly? Well, we have 3 lives. If we get a question wrong, of course we lose a life. A total of 10 questions will be asked, while in the beginning. For the other quizzes, assuming there's going to be more, I don't know. Some of these questions are worth 2 points, and what that does is we skip a platform. There are 10, one for each question, right? So if there is a quiz for each world, well, before entering a world, I'm assuming that there's going to be a huge one before facing Capital B. If there really is going to be a final quiz, I'm wondering if mini games will be implemented just like Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie, of course. What do you guys think of this idea? Anyway, Anyways, let's move on. According to PlayStation Access, Tribal Stack Tropics needs 1 Pagey. Oh, and there's a question on this in the quiz. How many Pages are needed to enter Tribal Stack Tropics? To unlock this first Pagey, which is hidden within Hivory Towers, we need to find the correct move. And like I said before, moves that will be learned in Hivory Towers, they're free. So to enter a world like before, we stand on the platform. A Grand Tome appears and we spend 1 Pagey to unlock Tribal Stack Tropics. As for Glitterglaze Glacier, we need 3 Pages. And according to the Pages, we need 5 Pages to expand the world. Now we can expand worlds whenever we want. Once we finish a world, we have 2 choices. Should we expand it or move on to the next? In this next area, we learn the lizard roll, because we need that to make our way up. Now this takes place right in the beginning, of course. Like many speculated in the past, the worlds within Hivory Towers, they blend with the environment. Tribal Stack Tropics, there's a bunch of palm trees around. Glitterglaze Glacier, we have a bunch of snow around. And talking about free abilities, so far we have the lizard roll and the glide ability. Next, Vendy. We haven't seen much of her. We unlock these things called tonics. To unlock them, we have to go through specific tasks. There's a list of specific achievements. As for 60-bit mode, this was part of the Kickstarter if I remember correctly. Now the pants one I find funny. Many people in the past were like, hey, why isn't Yooka wearing pants? As for the athlete one, we have to figure it out on our own. Okay. Same goes for 64-bit actually. It says back in time soon, no idea what that means. Oh, and by the way, we can only equip 1 tonic at a time. And again guys, according to PlayStation Access, to get to Glitterglaze Glacier, we have to go through a quiz first. Does the same thing happen for Tribal Stack? Judging by what we've seen, I don't think so. But like I said, I'm expecting a final quiz. Alright, one difference I've noticed in this area is the splash berries. In one of the older trailers, we had an inept robot instead. And I'm sure it's still the same location we're talking about. There's one hidden Pagey in this small area. We have to use splash berries to get rid of the fire. And like I said, some areas will require specific abilities. Like for here, for example, we have to buddy slam on the switch. Alright, it seems like we need 3 Pages to expand Tribal Stack. Next, we encounter a huge pipe with cracked glass, and of course we need to buddy slam on the switch to, I guess, get the glass to break. Now for the loading screens, it seems like load times are pretty good, and this is for the PlayStation 4. For the Xbox and Nintendo Switch, who knows? Time will tell. When these worlds are expanded, the camera zooms in on new locations, and the major new area that gets unlocked in Tribal Stack Tropics is the huge monument. Just for a brief moment, we have Rextro's arcade in Hivory Towers, judging by the pipes and all. And like I said in my older videos, there's going to be 8 minigames in total. That means we're gonna have to find 1 arcade machine in each world, pretty much. Oh, and before I forget, to unlock these arcade machines, we need to find play coins. 1 can be found in each world. Last thing I want to mention about Hivory Towers, there's a gate, which we see in Shipwreck Creek. I will go over Shipwreck Creek later. We have capital B's sign on it. To unlock it, I'm assuming we have to perform a specific task. So yeah guys, that's pretty much it for Hivory Towers, I guess. Let's move on to Tribal Stack Tropics. Alright, so we're coming out of a Grand Tome, and about these books, here's an old concept art. Hivory Towers was originally supposed to look like this. This reminds me of the first time I discovered Yooka-Laylee. When not moving, there's this cute friendship clap going on. According to Platonic Games, when it comes to speedrunning, some people weren't really a fan of, you know, animations when collecting a main collectible. So because of that, Platonic decided to add emotes, which can be activated by using the D-pad. By simply pressing the D-pad, we can dance and clap. You know, instead of dancing when collecting a Pagey and slowing us down, the team decided to keep it separate. And we did also see this in the Character Parade trailer. There's Vendy right there. She was originally on top of the monument, and this was in the Gamescom 2016 trailer. This time she's near Duke's temple, while on top, pretty much. As for the corplets, originally they were blue, like the original ones, but they switched them for the Tribal Stack corplets, with the skulls and everything on the head. But we still do find the blue ones in Hivory Towers. Those are the default ones, we can say. Next, we have an extended scene with Shovel Knight. It's funny how he references his own game. He's confused with the whole third dimension thing. He tells Yooka-Laylee there's a treasure on top, and that's the red ruby we saw a long time ago. To get it, we have to shoot frostberries, and by giving it to Shovel Knight, we get a Pagey. One new thing I've noticed in Tribal Stack Tropics is the switches. We shoot at them and adjust the spinning platforms. And again, this reminds me of Banjo-Tooie. Remember those switches which required ice eggs, fire eggs? It has Banjo-Kazooie VTNVIVI written all over it. And again, who doesn't like Laylee? She mentions pixelated treasure. She mentions it's a reference to the game. Here's a new area we haven't seen before. And where does it take us? It takes us to a small cave, which has the play coin we need to unlock the minigame in Tribal Stack Tropics. Another knight from Ham-a-Lot, loots a lot. So far we have Leap a lot and Scoffs a lot. As for loots a lot, he gives us a clue to find the others. Last thing about Tribal Stack Tropics, this small puzzle part here, I really like it. We have to buddy slam onto the correct platforms and match it with what we see on the wall. By doing so, we get a pagey. We unlock the pagey we see on top. With that being said, let's move on to Shipwreck Creek. Now, there isn't much about Shipwreck Creek, but we did get some footage. So the first thing we see, we are near the entrance of Hivory Towers. In the E3 trailer, we did have this same exact scene, but with different dialogues. And the main difference is the book, the golden book with the golden pages, it wasn't there. And that's Laylee's prophet book, which gets sucked into Hivory Towers. And Shipwreck Creek, guys, it's looking great. What am I gonna say? About their pirate ship home called Batship Crazy, it's a mysterious pirate ship, according to the PlayStation magazine, the UK version, the February issue. Apparently there are some origins to that ship, which will be hinted later in the game, and Platonic also explained that these origins might be explored in future games. Future games. Could it be a sequel? Could it be a different game? What do you guys think? Now, the thing about Shipwreck Creek, I thought that quills wouldn't be present, but they are. All of these quills, I'm assuming, are hidden in these treasure chests. And the first time we meet Trowser, it happens in Shipwreck Creek. We have to find 5 quills and give it to him. And that's the gate I was talking about. In this case, we give 5 quills to Trowser, and I'm guessing he unlocks the gate. We didn't see much of Shipwreck Creek, but it's great to actually see some gameplay. Last thing I want to mention, guys. In one of the trailers, they slightly show, if I'm not mistaken, world number 3. Many people were speculating a swamp world, and I think this one might be it. There's a huge tentacle. I think that's a mini boss or something like that. Notice the thorns and the lamps. Let me compare this to what we saw in the E3 trailer, and here's the concept art, by the way. Looking at these two things right here, this could actually be world number 3. And as I said before, the worlds, they blend with Hivory Towers. So what we saw in the E3 trailer might lead us to world number 3. So with that being said, this is it for the analysis. The release date for the Nintendo Switch version, it still hasn't been announced. For the PC, Xbox, and PS4 versions, the game will get released on April 11th, 2017. And of course, they recently announced the Nintendo Switch version. Of course, it's gonna take longer. When exactly is it going to get released? We don't know. But anyways, guys, this video is about 20 minutes, I think. And yeah, there was a bunch of stuff. I didn't want to make like a 30-minute video. I just don't want to bore you guys. And for those of you who watched the whole 20 minutes, you're awesome. So with that being said, leave all of your thoughts in the comment section below. And as always, I've been Vivi, and hopefully you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and until next time.